Hi, I'm Sai, and welcome to my channel called Nugget of Wisdom, and I'm in my motorhome called Joy here. So I'm just really interested in discussing the whole sort of notion or idea of purpose. What is my purpose? What is our purpose in life? What is the purpose of life? You often hear terminology which is sort of the meaning crisis, that there's a meaning crisis in the world. People are not sure what to do. What is it we're here for? Why are we here? And it's interesting how purpose can have quite a significant effect on your mental health. So if the aim of this channel is to bring you wisdom that helps you to be more peaceful and calm, then understanding a little bit more about purpose and our purpose is going to make your life a lot better, because it has made my life a lot better. So I guess the conventional view of purpose is that we have to strive in the world to do something that's going to leave a mark, that's going to leave some sort of imprint, and that we have changed the world in some way, that we are successful, that we have a good job, a good career, we have a family, we make an impact of some sort in the world. Often it's driven by religious ideologies that say you have to have, get out there, work hard in life, make a difference. And if you work hard, when you pass on, you'll pass on to a great time in another world or whatever it might be in heaven. Other influences are commercial and consumerist, making us feel that we're not good enough unless we're able to compete with others to have things that the consumerist world deems are important to sell us: cars, houses, money, success, a relationship, things around relationships that we need to buy to make ourselves more attractive to the opposite sex, all this kind of stuff. And on top of that, you've got the sort of hunter-gatherer tribal influences, where we still have got a strong survive rather than thrive mentality. And to survive, we want to be safe and secure within the group. We want to feel like we're contributing. We want to feel like we're good enough. We don't want to get thrown out, because human beings are very tribal and very team orientated and very group orientated. And so part of the purpose is about making sure we demonstrate to the others that we're valuable and we're useful. So that's kind of the conventional conventional side of purpose. And we all know this, we all experience this in our lives. My life, for example, as a small child, I didn't care about purpose. I was just outside jumping around, playing in trees, playing tag, drawing and painting. And then over time, I was influenced by the narratives of society, which were: you must be successful, you must get a job, you must have a career, you must do this, you must do that. If you want to make money, to make money means you're going to be able to provide for a family, all this kind of stuff. And then all these kinds of things that if you did, you had a house and you had a car and you had a family, and you had the things, the sort of materialistic things around that, and you were seen to be successful. You could then put yourself into a sort of a bracket and say, yeah, I'm successful. And that would give you some sort of feeling of purpose. And then as I got older, especially when I had children, that kind of changed me quite a bit. My purpose became very focused on them. My purpose is this kind of, to have these children, raise them up, make sure they're safe, make sure they're secure, give them everything they need, education, food, and all that sort of stuff. And so as you go through your life, you sort of have kind of different ideas of what purpose is, but they're driven externally by other people. To get to a point in your life where you stop and go, well, what really is the purpose of life? What is it really? It's difficult because, again, ego and thoughts get in the way. And you're constantly dealing with sort of trying to make sure you're in your place in the world and you're achieving. And so you're not really that focused on, what is the true meaning of this? What is the true purpose of everything? And this is where the meaning crisis comes in, because where people start to realize in the Western world that all this stuff we're doing, all this kind of consumerism and all these kinds of religious dogmas and doctrines that we've been believing and political ideologies and so on, they sort of start to think it doesn't really resonate with me. And so you have this meaning crisis where people are literally going, what's the meaning? What am I doing here? What's the point? And that brings depression and sort of stress and anxiety. So for me now, what is the purpose of life? Well, I've put a couple of videos on, one by a guy called Allan Watts. And Allan Watts is a fascinating guy. He called himself an entertainer, but I think he was a kind of a philosopher. And he'd studied traditions and religions and philosophy all over the world, from all over the world. And a fantastic guy to listen to. And he has his take on what the purpose of life is. And then there's Eckhart Tolle, who also is an amazing man. And he has another take on what the purpose of life is. And I think when you click on the links, it'll be fascinating for you to listen. For me, it's kind of straightforward. I'm going to give you an analogy. Imagine you go to a theme park and you love roller coaster rides. And when you get into the theme park, you spend your time either being really afraid and scared to get on the rides, even though you've paid and you knew these rides were here or there. And you quite like going on roller coaster rides, and you've got limited time. You've got the day, and that's it. And your tickets will allow you to go on any ride you want, but basically you've got to make sure you get on these rides because you run out of time and you won't have much fun. So you have different viewpoints. One person will go, okay, I'm going to get as many rides as I can. I'm going to enjoy this, or I'm going to pick the rides that really resonate with me, the ones that I really like. I'm going to get on those and I'm going to enjoy the rides. I'm going to spend my time queuing up for too long. Just go on the rides I really enjoy and make the most of it. Others will say, I don't know about this. It's scary. I don't really want to go on these rides because I'm scared. And they'll kind of just taste a few things because they want to be safe. Others will go, it's all a scam. None of this is real. These rides are phony. These rides don't represent reality. The ghost train is not real. There's no real ghosts in there. It's all mechanical. And they'll get focused on this whole idea that everything around them is just fakery, and it doesn't really, okay, I've sort of gone up to the top of the roller coaster and come down, but actually I'm not falling. And others will spend their time obsessed with trying to figure out how those rides have been built. What's behind them? Who built them? Why have they been built? What's the mechanism? And in many ways, our world is like this. Of course, others will probably want to, make their mark by going up to the top of the ride and doing something crazy so that they can have a photograph taken to show all their friends and say, this is what I did. But as I say, in reality, the world is a bit like this, that we can spend all of our time focused on trying to figure out what's going on. What is this world? Who made it? Was it made? What was the purpose of it all? Why are we here? And trying to be the best and trying to be the most successful. But in reality, that's kind of a waste of time. And what's worse is, a lot of this stuff comes from somebody else's view about what you should or shouldn't be doing, that you've just inherited, probably without question. I know I inherited it without question. I mean, if you're a child and you're growing up and slowly but surely you're getting all these sort of influences, you don't really question it. You just go along with it. So for me, the answer is to enjoy the ride. It's as simple as that. Just enjoy the ride. Do it in a peaceful, respectful way, humane, compassionate, understanding way, and enjoy the rides. Don't try to get ahead of the queue. Don't try to get on rides that, basically, that just don't suit you, make you sick, give you a headache. Don't try to judge whether the rides are good or bad. Don't try to figure it out. If somebody comes along and says, hey, we're going to give you a tour of behind the scenes of the theme park, you might say, yeah, that's really interesting, but I still want to go on the rides. But yeah, I'm interested. It's very interesting to find out. That's fine. But we in our intellectualism in the world are obsessed with trying to find everything out, trying to judge everything. And then comparing. Oh yes, well, I've had a better experience than you. This was better than that. And in reality, just enjoying the ride is the most important thing. So in life, if you listen to some of these brilliant spiritual teachers and others, philosophers, I sort of compare it to sort of like breathing. I've got this from some of my philosopher friends. So you breathe out. And when you breathe out in the world in a creative, doing way. So what's that? You do things. That's what the world is about. It's dualistic. You build things, you create things, you mold things, you write poetry, you make music, you dance, you make mistakes, you fail. You then come along and you start again. But it's all about a doing experience. And from that, the incredible emotions and feelings that you get from doing, from feeling the cold and then feeling the warmth, from climbing to the top of the hill or the mountain and feeling the energy and the stress that it took to get there, from feeling the excitement and fun, of a challenge, and all the experiences in life that you have, these beautiful experiences. People have relationships and giving, supporting others, caring for others, experiencing in the now everything around you, the sensory experience of the world, the water, the trees, the sun, the moon, the hugs, the tastes. So that's a breathing out. And then the breathing in my view, is a being experience. And that being experience is where you quieten the intellectual mind. You understand that the ego has its tentacles out there into the world. You can observe, and then you can just be. And by just being, you can just relax, quieten your mind, and just experience being in the now. Just experience of being here. Not judging, not trying to decipher things, not trying to intellectualize, not trying to compare. You can look out at the trees in the forest and just go, you don't have to judge them. Which tree is tall, which tree is short? Is this forest better than the other forest? Is it going to rain or not rain? They're very green, the trees. Well, they won't be in a few months' time because the weather's changed. Judge, none of that. Just being. And so in that process of breathing out to the doing and breathing in to the being, that's really a fundamental purpose of life. Whatever it is that's outside this world, it clearly wants us as its kind of eyes and ears, as its avatars, to experience. And it creates millions of different experiences. Just look around you in the world. Not even one of us are the same. There isn't one single human being on this planet, even twins, who are exactly the same. Different experiences, different ideas, different aspirations. And look at the sort of the variety of plants and flowers and animals. And also, some of those experiences we have are challenging. It throws in all sorts of difficult experiences for us. It's not easy. So we learn. And we have emotions, and we have sorrow, and we have loss, and we feel the beauty of things and the tragedy, and we express love. So I think that's a major part. A major part is experience. And it's clear that nature, whatever you want to call source, God, all that unknowable, clear that there's this process of creativity and expansion going on, and change, constant change. And on top of that, I believe, with that breathing process, that duality of doing and being, we grow. Our consciousness, our awareness, our self-awareness grows. And with that self-awareness, we become more in tune with this incredible experience. We become more self-aware. By becoming more self-aware, we can be and we can do in the most beautiful, incredible ways. And in the end, it's always important to people. Well, what happens? What happens when I die? Is this the end? Don't I need to leave a mark? Well, we don't really know. I know something incredible is going on. I'm not a nihilist. I'm not an atheist. And I struggle with anybody who believes in atheism because, again, it's another belief. So for me, I also know that if somebody carves a stone statue of me, puts it up in the square in some big city, at some stage that statue will come down and will be gone and no one will ever know it existed. Because nothing is permanent in this incredible experience. It can't be permanent either because it is about experience. If it was all permanent and stayed the way it is, there'd be no experience. And so I don't need to leave a mark. I don't need to set something up to say I was here in a very egotistical way. I know I leave my mark by just doing and being. And I leave my mark in ways that probably are incomprehensible to me. As part of this incredible creative expansion and flowering that's going on, I'm a tiny piece. And so is everyone else. And we're all, just by being and doing, leaving tiny little marks that are influencing and changing everything that's unfolding. So that's my understanding of the purpose of life. I'm not looking for meaning. I'm not looking for purpose. I am the purpose. This is the purpose. We are the purpose. And the most important thing is to just enjoy presence. Enjoy the things and the gifts that you've been given to do. If you're very creative, you're very musical, you're very artistic, you're very mechanical, just do those things and enjoy them in an authentic way. And push away all of these religious and political and economic stories and narratives which are trying to drive you, corral you into doing things that will help somebody else with their story. Live your own story, live it authentically, and just enjoy being and doing in the world. That, to me, is the purpose of life. Thank you, and hope to see you soon.